What is going on, guys? Will Blendon. I'm going to give the fans what they asked for. In this video, I'm going to lay it all out. I'm going to tell you how to build the perfect holding company. And I'm going to even tell you about at least three baby companies you should have under it. I'm going to lay it all out. That's what you guys want. I'm going to lay it out there. Disclaimer for people new to the channel. I am a business consultant, but I am not a financial or real estate professional. I'm just a normal person like you guys. I made this channel for entertainment purposes only, and whether or not this stuff can work for you, you have to go on base how it works for me, because I'm going through this journey now. So if you continue to follow me, you'll learn all the steps for free. Here's what I suggest you start at. The only thing I'm going to leave out is the actual CPA law firms I work with to set this stuff up. And of course, little minor things like who to get your 1-800 number from. Again, I got to hold back some gems because I'm probably going to have referral links underneath this video for stuff like the 1-800 number that you may want to use. All right. So step one, obviously find the right CPA law firm for the setup. But there's some things you need to do yourself if you don't have them do it. The underwriting process is very important. So you're going to need a 1-800 number, toll-free number, whatever, to make you look like a professional. A business address can't be your home address, and you do not even want to use one of those UPS store addresses. You could use that for some personal stuff, but I would not use that for your actual physical business address. You know, that's really important. So the company you're using should know that. Your local CPA around the corner isn't going to better help you set this up properly. I'm just letting you know that. A lot of CPAs, they can set you up a basic LLC. You know, if you have your regular address, regular phone number, but they're not going to really be able to get you a good LLC, a good business for your holding company, if that makes sense. I would go to some people that I found online that could do this stuff for you. But the company you work with, obviously that's key. They're going to get you. Now you need to pick a state. Now, in my opinion, the holding company is going to shield you from lawsuits. So it's got to stay, you got to have some anonymity, meaning you don't want people to even know you own your holding company. So there's only certain states that will do that for you. It's kind of a myth, I think, with some of these local CPAs that tell you have to set up your company or your holding company in the state you live in. You don't have to. So the whole point of the holding company for me, I could tell you what I did. I set it up in Wyoming. But consult your CPA or professionals on their opinion in what state. I use Wyoming because I know they keep everything anonymous as far as the owners of the company. You obviously would be listed as a operating manager, so you could do your day-to-day, open a bank account. You're going to be listed even as a president. But if they look you up online, it does. Wyoming website is not going to show your actual name. That's important with lawsuits. You will be only listed with like people you want to know that information, like your bank. That they're not even going to give out that information unless absolutely necessary. So I got the right state. Again, consult your CPA or accountant on what tax election to go with. Depending on what you're doing, what you want to save in taxes, I went with the S Corp election. I felt that that was the best tax selection to take. And I started with a traditional S Corp, not a LLC converted into a S Corp. So I went with a C Corp, converted into a S Corp. I just like that ink, you know, LLC with the S Corp election is the same, but I just like that little ink on the end. It just makes me feel bigger than what I am. So I think I picked a great name for my corporation. I went with both of my grandparents that raised me. I went with both of their last names. And it just sounds like one business name. And just added the ink on the end. The reason why I'm not just telling you it, because I like to keep things low key. I will let you guys know the name of my operating companies. You want to have at least 3 baby companies set up underneath your holding company. So you got the holding company. Let me backtrack a little bit. You need the best bank account that makes you feel comfortable for your holding company. I went with Navy Federal Credit Union, but if I had to go with someone other than Navy Federal Credit Union, it'd be one of these fintech banks. I prefer to stay away from local banks. You're gonna need a local bank sometimes because you may want to take cash from a client and then put it in. So I just use Chase. But use that bank to move money to your business account when needed. But I prefer, for the anonymity, a fintech bank would be good. But Navy Federal, I chose them because they're pretty generous. From what all my research, Navy Federal Credit Union has been very generous with personal and business loans. So what I did is use Navy Federal for my holding company account. I got a checking and savings. And then I also got a personal checking and savings. With Navy Federal, you got to open a personal account first. And they are a, armed forces type credit unions, but there's a lot of ways to get in. Watch my older videos on Navy Federal. I talk about how do you get in Navy Federal. But we're going to keep this video to just the main focus, building your perfect holding company. So now you pick the right bank. If you want to be low key, like I said, get a fintech bank. Put some money in. I take my Uber and Lyft money in. You want to funnel as much money as you can into that account. So if that means even money you're getting from your job and your side hustle, you need to come up with a side hustle to fund all this and to put money in your account on a consistent basis, because your job might not be enough. So now you finally got your holding company. You got the right bank you like. You got the 1-800 number for underwriting purposes. You got their real corporate address. Preferably a corporate address that sends stuff. When you get mailings, they send it directly to your home. That would be the best. Now you're ready to go under and start setting up some operating companies that are going to continue to fund your holding company. Go back to your side hustle. Whatever your side hustle is, make that one of your baby companies. Make your side hustle, turn that in, give it a name. That's another thing on your holding company. Keep the name really generic. You don't want anything specific. You want to keep it just a management company. You don't want to get complicated and make it an actual company, because it's going to help you on the credit building side. So keep it real generic. Back to your first baby company, operating company. That's your physical operating company. Pick something you're actually doing, your side hustle. It could be something simple as you're cooking plates out of your house, and it's making you an extra $100, $200 a day. Put that money into that physical side hustle LLC that's going to eventually send money up to your holding company. You're not going to take that's another thing. These are going to be LLCs. LLCs are the best entities for flow through tax purposes. You got to consult your CPA if you don't know what I mean. So these are all going to be LLCs. I have an S corp holding company. All the baby companies are going to be LLCs, and it's great for partnerships as well, the LLCs. So you got your first side hustle, you turn into LLC. Mine is transportation. I do Uber and Lyft. So that's going to be the first baby LLC. Another one, you got to have a separate LLC for an online presence. You got to set up some type of online business. I don't care what it is. It could just be your Instagram. If you got an LLC controlling your Instagram because you want to get a lot of followers and then hit them with whatever you're marketing or selling, that's what you're going to do. Brand it, put it under a name. It could, like I said, it could just be an Instagram account. You know, I chose my media company, Chania Business. I chose YouTube because I know eventually one day soon, hopefully, I'll make AdSense money. So that's going to be another LLC. That's my online presence. You got to have one business, I would say. Have it an online business, you know, because out here with this COVID, you don't know how things are going to go. An online presence is key to the success of the perfect holding company. Your third baby company is going to be an LLC in the state you live in, and this is going to hold your first piece of investment property. Me, hopefully next year, I'm going to go for a 2 to 3 family property. That's going to be under a separate LLC. Whatever I make, whatever proceeds I go, I'll keep probably 10 to 20% in that account, but the rest will flow up from that LLC to the holding company. And you can even close on a mortgage, but I would not close in a mortgage in my personal name. I would try to do a trust at that point, close in the name of the trust, so they see on the deed the trust name. And then the beneficiary of that trust will be the LLC. A lot of people will say, I've even heard CPAs say, just transfer the deed out of your name directly into the LLC. I'm a little bit wary about that because there's a paper trail. They see that at some point it was your name and it moved to an LLC. They could assume that LLC is yours. That's why I say it might be worth doing the extra step with the trust. So they see you close in the name of a trust. So it went from the trust name to the LLC. They don't even see it going from the LLC because it's just a document that only you have to keep that says the person that actually owns the trust is the LLC. You're the only one seeing that document. All they see is the deed. And if they go look up that house, they see the name of the trust rather than just seeing your name and then it transferred to the LLC. I've even heard horror stories where they called a note due just because they saw that transfer where you took it out of your name, moved it to an LLC. But I just heard a CPA on YouTube just yesterday say he's never seen it happen. He says you could put a deed in your name, transfer the deed right over to an LLC, and he's never seen where the bank has called the loan due because of that transfer. So it's a risk. But I like to play it safe, especially in the very first property. I would rather go with the deed, close under the name of the deed, because a lot of banks will let you do that. They think you're doing it for asset protection. And then the beneficiary of that trust will be the LLC, but only you see that document. You know, so that's how I would work this. You have the perfect holding company. It's got 3 companies underneath it, baby companies, subsidiaries, you know, operating companies, whatever you want to call them. You know, I would probably have 3 YouTube channels and, you know, maybe more than one, so I have more than one online presence. And then eventually, obviously, I'm going to have more real estate investments. But I'm saying start with these 3 baby companies, and you have a perfect holding company right there. And then what you're going to have to do is start going after corporate credit for your holding company first. And the way you're going to do that is just start putting money in fintech banks. You're going to see a lot more fintech banks that just by opening an account with them, putting money in, even when they're federal, just putting money in your holding company, they're going to give you credit based on that. And then legally, you could take that credit, and let's say in my case, for my transportation company, I can actually use that credit, go buy a vehicle, put it under the name of my operating transportation company, and put a driver in there. And then that driver, from that proceeds, goes in back into the company, and it flows up to my holding company. And you only get paid from your holding company. You don't need to get paid from all these subsidiaries. Keep money in the baby companies. Keep a small percentage. I would say at least 10 to 20%. Flow all the rest up to your holding company. You are the only person that should get paid from your holding company unless you're married. You can have a married couple on one holding company. That's okay. But I wouldn't have a partnership situation for my holding company. That's just me. But what you can do is use your holding company to go into business with other people. That's what I do, or I'm going to do. So if you came to me and be like, well, let's partner up, let's create a whole LLC to do this, I won't partner with you in my name. I would use my holding company name and partner with you, and whatever percentage that company is making is going to send a check to my holding company. Layers. It's going to protect you from lawsuits, because if you are that partner and you do something crazy in that business, I can actually help you. If we see it coming early, we can move money out of that account to my holding company if you trust me as a partner. Or you can have your own holding company as a partner as well with me. We can both send up a percentage to our other holding companies, and whatever problems go on with that LLC, when the problems die down, we can send the money back to that business. That's only if we're trying to avoid a problem or a lawsuit, And you got to be careful with that, because it's got to be months in advance, because they're going to call you on that and be like, you moved the money just to avoid that situation. So it's got to be months in advance. It's if you see it coming. But even if you don't see it coming and my partner does something crazy, they're not coming after me. They're going to see the owner is my holding company. They don't see Will Blandon. So I'm shielding myself. I'm shielding myself from possible lawsuits that may come up. I like layers. That's just how I am. I don't plan on doing anything illegal. I want to be 100% transparent. But you don't have to do anything necessarily illegal for people to see you have a lot of money coming in and try to go after it. Or see you have a lot of partners and situations going on. I like to have layers. Now, this perfect holding company is the first holding company, meaning that this is only going to be used for residential real estate. So I would only put residential properties, maybe 1 to 3 family, under this holding company. When I'm ready to get in commercial, I would start a whole new holding company. And that holding company, my original holding company, could even be partners in that holding company. Because this will be like the starting holding company. But you can have a whole nother holding company, and just you and your company could be partners in. And there's other reasons why I do it like that. It's a different tax form, so they don't see all your residential properties listed on the main page of your taxes. It kind of helps shield that you have big real estate deals. And I would set that up in Delaware, not Wyoming, because the CPAs I talk to, they say when you get into big commercial deals, they want to see your holding company in Delaware. And because of partnership, I'll use an LLC, and it'll be a partnership holding company. But a percentage will be owned by me, a percentage will be owned by my original holding company, and even my personal home, I would not, because I plan on eventually going down south, buying a personal home to retire in. Even that home, I would not put in directly in my personal name. I probably would have that under my living will, and my living will actually own my S Corp holding company. And this is going to make it easy to transfer power of ownership to my one child that's very responsible. So this is going to make it easy for the transition. She don't have to go through probate. All the businesses and everything will be owned and controlled by my living will. And that living will be able to directly give power and beneficiary rights to my daughter. And hopefully, if I structure all this properly, the businesses will continue to operate without my daughter doing the day-to-day. She may have to sign some checks. That may be it. And she'll have all the documents for the living will controlling all of this. So it makes it an easy transfer for you to build an empire, a dynasty for your children, and pass it all over. So ultimately, your living trust is going to have complete power over even your holding company. Just for the easy transition to give to your child. And that living trust will have its own bank account that you want to put away your real retirement money. You're going to get a check from your holding company. That check from your holding company can go right into your living trust. If you wanted to do it that way. Or have a percentage go right into your living trust account. Perfect, there you go. Perfect holding company. I'm spelling it all out. The only thing I'm not giving to you is the details of the companies I'm working with. Again, I said in the previous videos, I got to hold back some nuggets. But I'm laying it all on the line. This is how you build the perfect holding company. You want to have at least 3 subsidiaries under it. You want to pick the right low-key banks. And build a destiny, a dynasty for your family. Some of you guys, you're younger than me, but you got a gazillion kids, So the living trust is going to break down who gets percentage of what. Makes it really easy. Do all this before you get married, because you don't want that to come into play. Definitely if you get married, I'm going to have it where in my documents, every male employee has to have a prenuptial agreement. And that's not to screw the woman. I mean, you guys could decide in that prenup, this house goes to her, but you really want to have this because you don't want some young wife coming along that you met 5 years after you already built your holding company to come along and get half. You want to designate, okay, she can have this house and this percentage of money, but nothing from this business could be paid out for marital disputes. You can have that, and that trumps the marital law stuff. Again, check with your CPA if you got a crafty one. He will tell you, as long as you set this stuff up before marriage, even on you women, it's going to save you a lot of headaches in the event you get a divorce. You don't want to ever believe you're going to get a divorce, but let's be honest, there's a 50-50 chance it will happen. Especially you older guys, my age, messing with these sugar babies. Get this stuff in place before you start going to mess with sugar babies. That's my best advice to you. and don't let her know you own the company. If she has to know where your money's coming from, you tell her you're a president of a company, because you are. President of the company doesn't necessarily mean you're the owner. You're just a manager, a president. And the same thing with your investment properties. Don't tell these people you own the property. You're a project manager, whatever, property manager, whatever you want to call it. And then you just hire a handyman for the real physical stuff. This way they don't come knocking on your door trying to ask for free rent. That was it. The perfect holding company. I know it seems simple, but it is not simple. It's not a basic LLC. You need the right company to set it up legit. And I'm going to tell you also, the reason why I would never backtrack and try to change my original LLC into the holding company is because your name's already all over it. Like Shania Business. When I originally set up Shania Business, I did a basic LLC. It was mine and my daughter's name on it. But I defaulted on some lines of credit. I'm going to be transparent with you guys. So my name's all over that too. So if somebody tried to sue me, nobody's coming after to sue me, but if somebody did, they would know directly who the owners are. So why would I try to make that my holding company when my name's all over it? It's in the state I live in. If they sue me, they're coming directly after me, even though the LLC is dissolved and, you know, I got to restructure it. They're going to come looking for me if they're looking for that company. So you want to start fresh. That's the easiest way I can tell you. Start fresh with a whole, doesn't matter if you got this LLC over here. Keep that. That's okay. Start a whole, take some of those funds, start a whole nother holding company separate, completely separate from that business. And if you absolutely gotta have that under your holding company structure, sell it to your holding company later. Actually do up the paperwork, you know, sit down with your lawyer, construct an actual sale, and sell it to your holding company. You know, and then it takes your name out of the equation. That's the legal way of doing it. I still would not do that because it still leaves a paper trail. Still leaves a paper trail that that company was owned by this company now, and they may start looking into your stuff and see who owns this holding company. You don't ever want eyeballs on your holding company if you can avoid it. But the anonymity and all that stuff would help shield who you actually are, you know, as the owner of the holding company, if done right. So I gave you a lot of nuggets in this video. I basically told you how you could turn around and take your existing holding company, your existing business, and turn it into a holding company simply by a sale, a physical sale. After you set up your real holding company, sell your regular business to your holding company. That's the way I would do it. I would not try to actually make this the holding company, put baby companies on it, because your name's all over it, already all over it. You know, keep the business, take it out of the equation, and make it one of your operating companies, not your holding company. That's just a safer route to go. But I rambled on long enough. This has been my holding company rant. You know, and this is the way to build a true, perfect holding company, I believe. And I'm in the process. I have a holding company now. I'm in the process of the corporate credit. And I'm going to keep giving you gems and nuggets as I'm going along this journey. This has been Will Blandon. Thank you for your support. Subscribe, like, and comment. Click the bell icon, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.